Surviving Christmas with the Relatives, also known as Christmas Survival, is a 2018 film written and directed by James Dearden, and we have a brilliant cast, including personal favourites Sally Phillips, Patricia Hodge, Ronni Ancona. Really love the cast. The narrative itself it's fine, but if you've seen any film that's remotely like this, it doesn't really have anything new to offer. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I guess it's familiar in that sense, which can be a good thing, particularly with Christmas films that are meant to be quite an easy watch. But at the same time, I don't really think it had anything particularly interesting to offer. It's about a family coming together at Christmas with all of their problems. And there are definitely many Christmas films like this where families come together and they always rely on one key aspect, and that's the character writing. Because the narratives themselves, as is the case here, generally not that interesting. It's set around Christmas. It's all about the characters. And with this one, they were okay. I don't have any issues with any of the characters. I didn't dislike any of the characters either, by which I mean I didn't find any of them irritating, which is quite refreshing for this kind of film. Usually there's at least one, maybe two characters that just really annoy me, but actually not the case here. We have a lot of variety in the personalities, which obviously helps to make things quite interesting. So it's not too bad. The pacing is really good as well. I feel like they managed to pack in quite a lot. The only thing I will say is that there are maybe a few too many characters. There were definitely some characters who, while I didn't dislike them, I don't really think they had a lot to offer, and I feel like it felt a little bit too busy, and it maybe jumped around a little bit too much so that we never really spent enough time with many of the characters to build up an emotional connection with them. So I feel like there are definitely areas where there's room for improvement. But that being said, there's nothing really wrong with it. It also just doesn't really offer anything unique or different. There are many, many films like this. That being said, if you generally like this kind of film, where we have a family coming together at Christmas and dealing with their various problems, then I'd say it's a good example of how to do that film right. Yes, I do think there were maybe a few too many characters, but that aside, I think they did a pretty decent job with it. I wouldn't watch it again, but as a one-time watch, it's okay. The cast definitely is something that appeals to me. The narrative, or I guess the small pockets of narratives for each character, absolutely fine, no real issues. The character writing, pretty strong. Could do with maybe slightly fewer characters, but other than that, Christmas Survival, or Surviving Christmas with the Family, is an okay film. A decent amount of Christmas in it as well. It does have a strong Christmas atmosphere. It's not the best, it's not perfect, but it's also not too bad.